What is up, beautiful people? My name is Sky, aka Sunshine FC, and we're back with episode 2 of W.T.L.F. And I'm so excited for this series. I think for me, it's just going to be so great to just get to know each of these women and their story, why they love football, why they would love their club, and just kind of understand why they decided to post on their internet. Because, football, especially over in the UK, is such a heavily male dominated sect, especially online. I love when I see women just, being themselves and talking about the sport they love and stepping into kind of a male dominated space and doing a great job. And so today I'm really excited because I have Soph coming on the channel, and she was also, along with Sophia, I haven't talked to Sophia yet, but she was one of the first people to have me on her channel when I first started. And it honestly was just it was just so cool. I don't know. I felt honored that somebody wanted me to be on their channel. And not only that, I just think one thing that I really love about Soph is her willingness to just ask. I mean, I don't know if you've gone to her channel. She's had some amazing guests on her channel, from lead judges to Matisse. She's had Saeed. I mean, she's had so many amazing content creators. And the fact that she's confident in herself and confident enough to be like, hey, do you want to come on my channel and talk about your club? I can never do that. I don't think. I'm so nervous. And just to see her just be so confident in that and ask, and that they come on and then they have amazing conversation and videos. I love that about her. So I just want to know more about Soph, more about why she loves Arsenal. And, we're going to get into her story. So without further ado, Soph, hello.
Oh, thank you so much. You're so kind. I love that intro. It's really good.
Well, I'm just excited to have you here on the show for today. And, before we get into the football side, before we get into the content creation side, just tell us about you, as much as you're willing, as you want to, where you're from, what was it like growing up? Did you play football? Did you not? Just, tell us a little about yourself.
Yeah, so yeah, we'll get into this probably, but I'm from in England. I live up north, so I'm sort of between Liverpool and Manchester way. So
Okay.
there's not there's not always a lot of Arsenal fans, and
Yeah.
that's probably why I started doing this as well. But with football, it sort of started I would say I suppose I was quite later on, I was about 11 or 10. And I know sometimes, people from birth, literally watch football or played football.
Mhm.
Um, but yeah, I'd say I watched football first. I have played football a bit, in training at school. I would play it with the boys. So I have played football, but I think my love for football will always be from watching it. But I think you get an enjoyment, playing it as well. I think they're
Mhm.
both so different. Now
Yeah.
that I chat about football, it's a different experience to when you're actually playing. Um, but I think it's nice, to be able to sort of do what I do. Yeah, so basically, yeah, I did my channel. I started a few years ago. I think it was just before lockdown.
Oh, wow.
And it's it's been at the worst time because Arsenal have been so bad, and we've eventually gotten better. But yeah, so that's sort of what I do really, and yeah, I do enjoy like you said, making content, speaking to other people. I'm like you, I like to understand people a
Mhm.
bit better, and I just think it's great to being able to connect with not just Arsenal fans, but just general fans, all over the world. And yeah, I just think that's amazing.
Absolutely. I agree. I know you said it was like 10 or 11 when you kind of started falling in love with football, or watching it at least. Did your family watch it? Like, is your family Arsenal fans? Like, what happened there?
You're gonna hate this, but my family support Liverpool, and it
Oh.
absolutely sucks because they're probably gonna win the league, and I'm just crying. But yeah, so my family used to watch Liverpool, and I remember watching Liverpool, and I thought to myself, they're okay. I did never felt a connection with Liverpool.
Okay.
And I'm not the person just to follow a team for the sake of it. I want,
Mhm.
I'm in life, and I'd rather do what I want to do. So one day Arsenal played Liverpool, and at the time, I never knew, I didn't know anything about Arsenal. Um, it's just quite weird saying this, but I like the small things about Arsenal, like the logo, the stadium,
Okay.
on the TV. But I think I wouldn't say I support Arsenal because of him, but Arsene Wenger for me was a big part.
Okay.
Um, Obviously at the time I didn't know a lot about him, but I just thought he was just such a classy person, and the football he
Yeah.
played was obviously really nice.
Mhm.
And obviously now looking back, I did get to see us win, quite a few FA Cups, and I know we nearly won the league one year in 2015. So looking back, it was a really good time. I used to watch, like Sanchez's, or like them in their prime were great. So
Mhm.
yeah, I think I would say my family do enjoy football, but I would say that you know I probably love it the most out of everyone.
Yeah. And is your family, is it shocking to them that you kind of found this outlet through football?
Yeah, I mean, it's funny because obviously, like, I said to them one day, "Do you know what? I'm just going to support Arsenal." And I think they thought at the time, "Oh, like, she'll support another team a different week after." But, like, yeah. And then, yeah, I just thought about making my own channel, really. I mean, I started maybe 4 years ago, and, like,
Mhm.
YouTube was big then, but now it's so much bigger. So, like, I'd never really thought a lot about it. I just thought, "Do you know what? I'm just gonna have my say. When we lose, I can just get it off my chest because you
Yeah.
feel better when you do that." And um, see, I never really thought about like people watching me. I just wanted to just do it really.
Mhm.
I'm being quite lucky because my family are being quite supportive, but I've got to say it, I hate it when I have to listen to my own voice back. It
Oh, yes.
like if like my boyfriend or my family plays my own voice back on a video, I'm just like, stop. I just hate how it
Yeah,
sounded.
I
But yeah,
know. That's how I feel when I edit too. I hate the sound of my voice. I don't know if it's just like a like, I don't know. I'm so with you on
yeah,
that.
I'm the same with you. I hate mine.
Okay, so you said you started 4 years ago. So, like, what gave you the I guess, the push to be like, "I'm gonna make a channel?" Because like I mentioned with Tmella, in the last episode,
Yeah,
it's not, I mean, of course, we could do whatever we want, like, it's not saying that it's weird, but it's not normal for just some girl to be like,
yeah,
"Hey, I'm gonna talk about football on the internet," especially because so many, it's just a lot of men that do it, and I don't know, we can kinda get a little bit of a stigma to us because 'cause we're
yeah.
women that talk about football, but it's before lockdown, so, I mean, I think lockdown might have helped, like, have an outlet because we were all kind of isolated, but
Yeah.
what gave you that push to be like, "I wanna talk about Arsenal online?"
Yeah, like you said as well, like I think now there's a lot more women chatting about football. I know obviously when I watch YouTube, I would say a lot of the time it is men, but I think there are a lot of women, which I think is amazing. I just see it as whoever is like best for the job, or whoever,
Absolutely.
whoever, like if I'm watching an interview, I want to listen to someone that I think might have a similar opinion to me or a
Mhm.
different opinion. Um, but I think it's great now, obviously, to see so many women out there just to do it. And if I'm being honest, at the time, I never really, I obviously knew when I played football a difference. Me being a woman, I would get, some comments here and there. But I think when I did a video, I was at the start, I would say I was lucky. People would just say, like a video, or if they gave you criticism, I'd be take that on board. So at first, I never really had any comments of that, but I
Oh, that's
think
good.
I think I think everyone goes through sort of trolling. I mean, I've had a little bit about being a woman, but I think in this day and age, we see so many presenters, so many female presenters like the Alex Scott or Woods, like Karen Carney. There's so many that are out there. Obviously, for me, years ago, I mean, I watched YouTube for like longer before that.
Mhm.
So it was just nice to see people like women out there on YouTube. I mean, someone like Pippa Monique on AFTV, those type of. I just think if you see a woman talk about football, it encourages you to do it yourself
Yeah.
because, like you said, we've all seen men. I mean, I did grow up
Mhm.
watching like men's football. Um,
Mhm.
I know, maybe the last 2018, I would say I started watching the Arsenal women's team, but I think there's just so much more out there for now for women to be able to do
Mhm.
it. But I think it's hard putting yourself out there really because you just never know is what people are going to say, or it can be tough. But yeah, I think I just thought I'd just go for it really. I didn't think I had much to lose because at the time I did like one video maybe a week or once every 2 weeks. So I didn't really do an awful lot, and I think with lockdown, I just probably did more in lockdown actually because I think it was nice to sort of chat. I mean, Arsenal weren't great in lockdown,
Mhm.
but to be fair, we did win the FA Cup, and I did start. Sort of, I think I started it when we like before the FA Cup final. So yeah, I've really enjoyed it, and obviously when you do it more, you sort of get used to your routines, how often you want to do YouTube. But yeah, that's sort of my journey through YouTube.
Do you remember your first video?
Yeah, it's
What was it? What was it, like a
I'll have
match
to,
review or
there's two that it could be. I think it was either a preview for the FA Cup
okay,
final, but there's one that I remember and I look back at it now and I just cringe because it was when Willian joined Arsenal, and
okay.
and in the video I was like, he's got so much experience, he's got that winning mentality, and then when he came, he didn't do anything. So it's like watching back, it's just like yeah, it's funny as well, and it's
Yeah.
just weird because I feel like my voice 4 years ago sounds quite, like, babyish now, but yeah, it is nice to look back and see sort of how far you've come.
Yeah, absolutely. And I don't know, I think that's really cool that you have those videos to look back on and kind of see your growth and see, because I mean, that's all of us, right? Like, it would be, I mean, unless you're, like, really into football, we're just fans, right? So,
Yeah.
there's a lot of things that I've said too where it's like, it did not happen that way.
Yeah.
Because of course, when a player comes to your club, you want them to do well. Like, if you don't, I would question, like, if you're
Yeah.
okay or not, you know? So, it's
Yeah.
just funny to see how things change, but one of the things, and I said this in the intro, that I really think is so cool about you is because, like I said, we're women in the space, but there are a lot of amazing men in this space who are really good at what they do, and they've inspired me. I was watching a lot of content creators before I started. I was watching Saeed a lot, just a lot of
Yeah.
like United ones as well, Flex and everybody, and I was like, oh, I think they're so cool. Like, I want to talk about Manchester United as well. And one of the things I think is so amazing about you, and I kind of want to just hear what gives you the courage to do this, is like, how do you get them on your channel? Like, what do you just like, hey, I'm just gonna ask, if the worst they could say is no, right? Like,
Yeah.
what's your, I don't know, I just want to hear your thought process behind that.
Well, you know what? My mum used to say to me that if you don't ask, you're never gonna know what happens. And I think to myself, I don't have anything to lose. I mean, if they say, do you know what? There was a presenter that I do email people a lot as well. I mean, a lot of the time you do sort of get no answers or people say no,
Mhm.
and I remember this person saying no to me and I felt so rejected.
Mhm.
And that's the thing as well, you're gonna have to deal with rejection when you do YouTube or when whatever you do because people are busy, people, people might ask them a lot and I do get that. So I feel like for me, if people say yeah, obviously that's amazing. I mean, before I did the video with Saeed, I just thought I did email him, but obviously he's so busy, and I thought on
Yeah.
Twitter, do you know what? I'll just put a tweet out and ask, and then obviously I wasn't expecting him to reply. So I just feel like you've just got to go for it. I mean, I know it's hard if people say no, but I feel like you didn't have a lot to lose by doing that. But it can be hard if they don't reply or. But I think just building up, getting guests on, I think's really good because as much as I like to chat with maybe YouTubers and other people. I like to chat as well with ordinary fans and
Yeah.
other people. So I feel like it's great to have like a mixture of doing that with
Yeah.
different people. But I think my advice would just be to maybe just email people or drop them a message because I'm sure if they have the time they would want to help people out, which is really nice.
Yeah. I mean, that's great. And then, you've had, I guess my question now is there somebody that you're like, you asked them and you're like, oh my gosh, this is actually happening. I'm a little bit nervous.
You know what? At the time, I did. A video of Robbie Lyle off AFTV, and I thought to myself, I was thinking, "Oh my god," like, do you know what? It was a minute, I was gonna do a video of him, and I thought to myself, "Oh my god, I'm so nervous," and I didn't want to seem dead shy because I'd watched AFTV, like, when I started to support on Arsenal.
Course.
And I
Yeah.
never thought I would ever interview him, but,
Yeah.
um, I managed to I dropped him a message on Instagram and I said, "Would it be a possibility to get you on my channel?" And he just said, "Yeah, like, we'll do it," but he just he's a because he's got such a busy schedule.
Yeah.
But I just think it's really nice as well, like you said, when people make that time for you because
Yeah.
he didn't have to do that.
Mhm.
I know he's so busy as well, and
Mhm.
it's the fact people like him make time for people. And I think that's a really great quality to have. And
Mhm.
yeah, I think sometimes you can get a bit starstruck in these moments, and
Yeah.
I think to myself now that have spoken to people, I feel like you just let that go after a while because I feel like you have to be relaxed when you're interviewing someone. You can't just be dead excited because,
Yeah.
like, it would be a difficult interview. So I feel like you
Yeah.
just have to compose yourself, and then afterwards you can just say, "Oh my god, I interviewed them," and just be excited about it. But when
Yeah.
you're interviewing them, it's you got to stay calm because it
Mhm.
is hard when you're very excited, though.
Yeah. No, I get that, but I just think that one of the reasons why I mean, it would be so hard not to say no to you. I just think you're so sweet and you're so
Oh,
just
thank you. I love
no,
you.
you're just kind, and I mean, it's always great talking to you about, Arsenal or, whether we're playing I think I've mostly been on your channel when we're doing, like, Man
Yeah,
United games, so, it's always been such a great time, and so, for me, I think this overflows into my life too. I'm so good at being by myself that,
yeah,
like, I mostly am good with, like, just doing streams on my own, you know?
yeah. I get
Which
that
is
as well.
not
Yeah,
normal for this, for football YouTube because there's a lot of panels and things, which is great. So for me, it's 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 good for me to step outside my comfort zone and ask people, "Hey, do you want to talk about something with me?" Because I get so shocked when people ask me, I'm like, "Are you sure? Are you sure that's what you want to hear?"
yeah,
So I encourage you to keep that up, and it like even though you may not think that I don't know what you're doing can encourage someone. It's encouraging me. Like just the fact that you were so open to ask me to come on meant a lot. And I was really, really new at the time. And even just seeing you, like again, seeing who you asked to come on your channel, because I'm like, wow, that's so cool. I'm so glad for her. Like I love seeing when good things happen for you. So keep that up because it's just really awesome to see. So
Oh, thank you. And I think you're doing amazing as well with your channel. And I think it's great to see sort of the community that you've built as well. And yeah, just keep doing it as well. I think these are going to do really well. And I think it's
mhm,
great as well that you're sort of giving, women a voice out there and to show their journey, which I think is
mhm.
so amazing. And I love that.
Yeah. Oh, I mean, that's what makes you who you are, right? And I want to understand, why you create football content because I mean, it's probably different where you live because football is
Yeah.
kind of in your culture, but for me, like my family does not understand. They're like, "Why are you online talking about soccer?" Like I have to say soccer. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to trigger
I
anybody.
don't care, honestly. Yeah, no, it's fine.
And
Yeah,
I'm
I
just
get
like,
that.
I love it. I fell in love with Manchester United and I found this really amazing community and you may not understand it, but it makes me very happy.
Yeah.
So that's what's most important.
I think when you've got that community and you've got those people that you want to be with and online, it's so lovely. And I think it's hard for people to understand that don't really like football that much, but
Yeah.
it is great to see what you can build on YouTube now.
Yeah. So I think I mentioned correctly, like you started rooting for Arsenal and you mentioned that you haven't been the best. I mean, you've seen a few FA Cups, right? But what's it been like, I guess, supporting Arsenal the past couple of years? As we film this, you just lost to West Ham. I had to bring it up. I'm sorry. But what's it been like for you as a Gooner?
You know what? It's a weird one because when I started watching, I didn't really know Wenger was there for that long, and people were sort of with the banners, and
Yeah.
it was all quite a hectic time. Obviously, thankfully, I never had social media then. So I usually just watched Arsenal. Yeah, I suppose I spoke to my family, like, if my dad was watching it with me, I would sort of say comments and stuff, but, um, I looking back, I feel like I should have enjoyed it more now
Mhm,
because we've not won anything for ages. The FA Cups, with Wenger were so special. Unfortunately, I never really saw anything more than that. But I also think FA Cups are a great trophy to win. So yeah, I think now it's a weird time. I think I'm at the stage now where this season hasn't been great. I mean, the few seasons have been good because we've actually played some nice football, but
mhm.
I think the success part is something that we've really missed, and I think that's what makes managers have that sort of I feel like that's what makes managers so good. Like you look at people's career and you look at what they've won. So yeah, I feel like we've had some really good games the last few seasons, but ultimately, the cups I really, really miss. I've enjoyed the players that we have. Obviously, I really love watching Saka. I know this season he's injured, but I think it's just been really a tough time. Really, I mean, when we were eighth, fifth, I never thought we would compete. So I think Arteta's progress, but I think the season that we've gone backwards a little bit.
Mhm.
Um, but yeah, I do sort of miss the days where Ozil, Sanchez were here. I just wish that I could have watched us win a league under Wenger, but
Oh, yeah.
I just hope that these times are coming back. I don't know when they'll be back, but I just hope soon that I'll see us win a league. I'll see us win more trophies.
Mhm. Do you think that, elephant in the room, that will happen under Arteta?
No, with the league, no.
Mhm.
Um, With the FA Cup, I'm not sure. I mean, I think with the league, if he would have done it, he would have done it by now. I know we've not had a striker, but that's on him not to bring one in. So,
Yeah.
but I'd happily be proved wrong. Obviously, next season, if he won a league, that'd be amazing, and I would be right behind him with that. But I just think maybe this is as far as he can go with Arsenal with regards in the league, but. A lot of Arsenal fans like myself just want to see us, in the cup competitions, get to finals, win
Right.
finals. So, yeah, I feel like it's a possibility he can win us like those type of trophies. But I think with the league, I think it's maybe a bit of a stretch for him.
Yeah. It's kind of it's hard, right? I mean, I'm not an Arsenal fan, so please correct me if I'm wrong because uh and I'm new to the sport, but based off of everything I've seen, I've heard, I've watched, it seems like you guys have been so close, right? And you've had those seasons where you've competed with City, but City's just always,
Yeah,
that one step ahead. And I mean, Pep Guardiola is just really good, right? And so it's difficult in the sense of that if Pep Guardiola wasn't there, like you would have won, obviously, right?
yeah,
So it's like, I mean, you were second place to like the best. And then at the same time, it's like, but we were so close and we let it go kind of thing.
yeah,
So it's hard, to, I guess, come to terms with that. So then you're coming into this season. And for me, if I was an Arsenal fan, I think this season I'd be the most upset.
yeah,
Mainly the way that City's kind of not on form. And the way that Slots come into Liverpool and just kind of taken Klopp's team and foundation and just ran with it. And
yeah,
then you guys are just like, "Hey," you know, when you could have gotten a striker, like you said, and
yeah.
in positions that could have helped you. Um, I guess what has your feeling been like this year? Because I just feel like it'd be difficult, to kind of,
Yeah.
and then the injuries, so
I think like you said, I think with the injuries, like that is part of football, but I also feel like we can't just say that 100%. I think we had the option to bring someone in. I do think with the Kroenkes, I do think, if I had the option, I wouldn't have them here, but I
mhm,
do probably think they gave Arteta options. I know the options might have been maybe Rashford or some players that, as Arsenal fans, we know
yeah,
aren't our future. But I think Arteta maybe should regret now that he didn't take any of the options. I mean, I would have, Rashford's a weird one because at United he had obviously a few good spells and it sort of
mhm,
just faded. But then I just feel like I do think he's better than what we have right now, and it's only a loan. So I feel like We wouldn't. I just feel like I'd rather us go for something than not at all. But I think Arteta was saying that he didn't want to bring someone in for the sake of it. But I think now, like, I wish he had, honestly. But yeah, I think the football we're playing, like a lot of people are saying, it's quite predictable, quite slow. I think that, as you mentioned, the West Ham game, like, I think when they scored, I knew it was game over because I
Mm,
just don't think we have anything to turn it around.
yeah,
So yeah, it's been a rough season. I mean, I would have been happy finishing second with an FA Cup or with a League Cup, but I just obviously that's not possible right now. And I think with the Champions League, I definitely don't think we can win that because obviously
right.
if we beat PSV and we come up against like Madrid, honestly, um, I do like Madrid. You know, I think they're
Yeah,
a team that I think just play beautiful football, and I think it'd be, you know, they might win the Champions League, Liverpool, but I think, like you said, it's a tough one to take because Slots came in and he's doing so well. Mo Salah's on fire, and
yeah,
I just think a bit fans are using excuses, and I just feel like we need to be a bit more real because, like, injuries, you know, there's been so tough on us, but
mhm,
I just think the silverware thing, like we said, I think fans are losing their patience now because it's been the longest time now, and I think
yeah,
we're all just really tired, and the season's got so long to go as well.
yeah. Well, I know I commend you because I feel like the people that I know that I'm closest to that are Arsenal fans are pretty level-headed and they
Yeah,
understand kind of what's going on. Whereas I feel like there's this crazy majority online that's so emotionally
yeah,
charged when it comes to their football takes. It's quite crazy to see like
yeah,
they say. I'm just like, are you okay? Like, do you need a hug? Like, because
yeah,
the way that they're kind of trying to justify, like you said, the season now, I don't think it's right. Like, you're okay to be upset or disappointed
yeah,
on where you guys are right now, especially like you said. I think Rashford needed to leave Manchester United, and it would have hurt to see him at
yeah,
Arsenal. I'm not gonna lie. I didn't want him to go to Villa. I didn't want to go to the Prem team
yeah,
at all. Um, but I think he would have really helped you
mm,
because Arsenal's way more put together and well run than Manchester
yeah.
United. I think it would have catered to Rashford, unfortunately. Um, because I just don't think Sterling was the best
Always been
yeah,
terrible.
the best fit for you there. And then now you're trying to put Mourinho in the 9. You're just trying to do anything at this point to get goals in. So it's just it's unfortunate. I mean, it's not because I don't like Arsenal, but
Yeah,
um, just to see kind of yeah the way that the team has gone down. I think not having Saka obviously doesn't help.
yeah.
So,
Yeah, Rashford's an interesting one because I think I'd say most fans wouldn't have wanted him.
mhm.
I think I wouldn't want him permanently, but I think
Yeah,
I
on
think
loan.
for a loan, I mean
Mhm.
it'd be weird for you guys, but I think for us, I do think he's very fast. I just think that him and Trossard, if Trossard was playing as a striker or whatever position was happening, I just feel like they would work really well together, and I feel like we've I think if we could have got him, I think that I don't think Arteta was really wanting him, if I'm being honest. I think if Arteta wanted him, you know, I'm sure Rashford might have come to Arsenal just for, you know, for a loan. But
Yeah.
um, it's just a shame, really. I mean, I know there was Ollie Watkins as well, which I was
Mhm.
happy to bring him in just for the season, but yeah, I just feel like we could have helped ourselves and we haven't.
Mhm.
And we've sort of got ourselves to blame now because we're sort of relying on like Wanyeri or Trossard, and I just feel like it's going to be a tough long season and more injuries could happen. And I
Yeah,
just don't know what happens if any of our attackers get injured. Like who else we play?
right. I know. So I mean, I never want anyone to get injured, so hopefully that doesn't
Yeah,
happen, especially because you had it's so interesting because I feel like I mean, Man United's kind of been in the same boat. Like you went on this vacation, and then all these players, like I think Kai Havertz got injured in Dubai.
yeah,
So quite interesting. But okay, so you're heading into the final parts of the season, right? We're going. I think we're going like downhill now. I would say like We're getting to the competition, cup competitions, Champions League's close to wrapping up. We're in the final months of the Prem. What do you need to see to be like, okay, we can go into the summer and like get this thing going,
Do you know what? For me, I mean, I think now, like, I know Arteta isn't going to leave, and I'm not saying that he is all to blame because I think the Kroenkes, they're a big role, but I don't think this would happen. But if we got ourselves to like a Champions League final, I would think to myself, we're doing business. And I know that we'd probably lose it, but I just feel
Mhm.
like that would be a really big step for us to get there. Obviously, like I don't see it happening because I think
Yeah.
that I just don't. We're struggling against teams like West Ham. We're struggling in the league, so I think with that, I do think it'll be quarterfinals or PSV
Yeah.
might knock us out. But I think, like we said with the league, I think all we can do now is just try and finish second because I just worry we might come fourth now and drop. So we're in a tough one right now. But yeah, I think we have to have a big summer. Which I'm a bit worried that we might not have because I just don't know who we're going to bring in really. I mean, as I mentioned, we desperately need a striker. We need quite a few attackers as well, and it's going to be tough because I think Jorginho Partey might be going as well. So we're
Mhm.
going to have to sort of change our midfield. So I feel like a lot's going to happen in the summer, especially with players leaving or players coming in. But I think if we don't have a great summer, I feel like the start of next season, I think fans are gonna at the stadium, fans are gonna get really frustrated and maybe boo the players or protest. I mean, protesting has been a conversation I've heard fans speak about. Um, so that possibly might happen, but I think we're in a process that's been going on for a while now, and I think fans, rightly so, are quite frustrated. And yeah, I just hope that we can just have a really big summer.
Yeah, and then I mean, I don't know if this is gonna happen, obviously, but you also Saliba could potentially leave as
Yeah,
well, which would be a huge blow, I think.
yeah, yeah. That would. I wouldn't be surprised just because I think he's sort of understanding us now that we're not
Mhm.
really there, and as a club, we're not really there either. Like we just keep finishing second. So
And he
yeah,
loves to win. So
yeah. Do you know what? I never thought we'd be in this position because I think when Yin Emery brought him in, he went on loan after, and I thought, if players go on loan, sometimes you never see them come back. So I thought, oh, and then I started playing him, and I thought, oh wow, like I'm surprised by that. Um, it's yeah. I mean, I do think Madrid might be on his mind, because I
Yeah.
feel like he has been good recently, but I wouldn't say he has been as good. So I am thinking, is he thinking about that move? I think Gabriel, they're both very good, and
Mhm.
it's so hard to sort of pick. If I had to pick,
Yeah.
but I think in the summer, if we're able to keep one of them, or I mean, I hope it doesn't come to that. I
Mhm.
personally think it might happen the summer after, but I know we need money, so maybe we might
Yeah.
sell some of our best players, like Saliba, which would be a real shame. But you can't blame him really because
Mhm.
Madrid are such a big club, and in the Champions League they've had so much success, and I think I wouldn't blame him because you can't blame someone that wants to go and win silverware
Yeah.
and have a
Yeah.
successful career.
Yeah. And he's done a lot for you guys. I
Y-
think you know, you should have at least gotten one league, I think, in my opinion. But
Yeah, it'll be a shame if he leaves Arsenal and not
yeah.
win anything. Like
Yeah.
that is just it's a weird thing to say because you look at how hard he's worked over the last few seasons, and with the league it's so like long, so I think it's tough for him if he does leave with no trophies.
Yeah. You're talking about all of these players who could be leaving, who could be staying. I just wanted to hear your thoughts on Lewis-Skelly,
Oh yeah.
I thought I think he's done phenomenal, come in and helped as much as he can in a team. I would say that's a little bit kind of chaotic at the moment, just
Yeah.
because anything could happen. But I just wanted to hear your thoughts as an Arsenal fan.
Yeah, I love him. He's doing a really good job. I think that I just feel like he's so young as well, like, you forget his age, and I
Yeah.
think at the moment, I think a lot of us would rather him play than Calafiori. I mean, I like Calafiori. I do think some criticism of Calafiori,